Hey YouTube, it's your girl Stacy back with another video, and if you're new here, welcome. Today we're making mango chutney, and what you'll need for spices are some salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, garlic powder, and some curry powder. Next, you will need half of a Scotch bonnet pepper diced up with some ginger, garlic, and some onions. Moving right along, we have a tablespoon of my green seasoning and some cilantro, which has been frozen. Then we're gonna have our mangoes, which I use two not so ripe mangoes, and some apple cider vinegar and some brown sugar. Now what you're gonna do to start is get a pan heated up. I used a saucepan. I'm gonna heat it up with a little bit of oil, and then I will proceed with adding the chopped garlic, onions, hot peppers, and ginger. I seared them for about, I want to say 7 minutes before adding in my green seasoning and my frozen cilantro. In a previous video, I showed you what I like to do with my cilantro and thyme. I like to freeze it, as well as my green onions, so that I can have them handy and ready when I want to cook. So now here we are going in with mixing and combining everything together. Everything's steaming up because of the liquid from the cilantro and from the green seasoning. And you want to just mix it around till it, gets good and covered, and all the flavors, like I said, combine together. Once that's done, you can go ahead now and add your mangoes. I did fill that bowl up with water. Once I emptied out all the mangoes, I did fill that bowl up with water and set it aside because I will be using that to be the liquid that will be needed further along in this video. I continue mixing and stirring it, getting a good coating on it before adding the spices to this mix. I just want to make sure that the mangoes take on the flavor of the garlic and the ginger and the cilantro and the seasoning prior to adding the spices. So go on now and add those spices in and get a good mix. And this is where everything will begin to create a melody of great and wonderful flavor within this dish. Once that is beginning to create somewhat of a sizzle in that pan, you want to go ahead and add your apple cider vinegar and mix it all in together. We want to get these mangoes tasting really good before adding any of the liquid to it, which the liquid would be the water. We're going to boil that down, and then we're going to add some of the brown sugar. And I say some because we will be adding more further along in this video to get it a bit more caramelized and to be more like a jam. Now, just before adding the water, I did add a bit more cayenne pepper and some black pepper to the mix because I felt that it was becoming too sweet. And I also wanted to make sure that when I did add the water, as you see here, that when it does evaporate in this step here, that it wouldn't, the sugar wouldn't take away from the heat that I'm also looking for. So I added a tablespoon more of the cilantro, and I went in and added half a cup more of brown sugar. And that was it for the seasonings. I did taste along the way, as I normally do, and as I always suggest that you do the same, to ensure that it does have the right flavor profile. And you're gonna let this simmer and boil down for about, I wanna say 45 minutes, or at least until it reaches the next stage, which is this phase, where you can see that the water has reduced a great deal. Once the water has reduced to this level, you want to go ahead and smash down some of the mangoes. Now you can use a potato masher and lightly go in and mash it. I'm using my spoon, and I'm just going in and smashing some of the larger pieces, but not all of them, because I do like to have some of the chunks in there. But you do want to do this step because it allows for the sauce to now thicken with the reduced mango, the softened and reduced mango. This liquid is beginning to caramelize and become very, very sweet and savory all at once. Like, I just love mango chutney. I love this especially for using as a dipping sauce. And after about an hour and a half of stewing down, I'm ready to pot it. Or I should say, put it in a glass jar. And I'm using my little gadget that I love so much for doing such task. I'm going to add it to my jar. Now, mind you, I did let it cool down for about 20 minutes. It's still going in the jar, somewhat hot, but I did let it cool down. I didn't put it in bubbling hot. And as you can see, the texture of it is thickened nicely. Oh my God, it's so delicious. And honestly, if you're wondering about the heat because of the Scotch bonnet pepper, you hardly notice it because of the mango, the sourness of the mango and the sweetness from the brown sugar. And it's just delicious. You see how it's nice and candied. I just love, 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 love making my own chutney. Makes me so happy. I am really excited about eating this. I cannot wait for it to cool off. Here it is in the glass jar that I recycled from my old spaghetti sauce, and this is the sauce itself with some of the saltfish fritters that I have made, and there's a video that follows suit for you to learn how to make those fritters so you can dip them in your homemade mango chutney, as I'm doing. Struggling a little bit, but you know what? Because I want to get a nice chunk of it. Thanks for watching, y'all. Wishing y'all a great day. To all my new viewers and subscribers, thank you. Remember, God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. Stay blessed.